Hello, I'm Suzy Vance from Creating from the Heart, the Artistry of Living, and today I'm here with Clarence Hulse, who is the Director of Economic Development in Michigan City. And we have a lot to be thankful for you. I'll tell you, Clarence. So, Clarence,
Yes.
when you were a little boy, did you ever think you'd be doing this?
No, I had other plans.
What were your other plans?
I wanted to be a fighter pilot until I realized my country didn't have any fighter jets.
Oh,
That changed my trajectory.
that changed your life.
But
What
as
made you think you were going to be a fighter pilot? Want to
I
be?
love aircraft, I love aviation, and I thought to be up there with
When's the
these
first time
supersonic
you saw a
jet.
plane?
When I was a little baby boy.
You're like my husband.
So-
He used to go to the
Air shows and all that.
and
Yeah.
just hunger for
Love
them.
aviation, but over time, I think after high school, I was involved in missions and worked in Central America, doing mission work with refugees and orphanages, and that really made me decide that I wanted to spend the rest of my life helping people, and I couldn't quite decide exactly how that would work, whether it was missions or something similar, but. During college, I studied public administration, which was leading towards government service. And then I discovered there's a master's degree and people doing what they call economic development to help people find jobs. And so I got my master's right after college in economic development. And I gravitated toward a profession to help people. And so for me, I think today, one of the most gratifying things is knowing that I can help a family feed themselves. And so that's not a job, that's my calling. And so
Right.
I do a whole lot of stuff to get that done in
To
terms
get-
of politics, real estate, finance, and all that other stuff you see in the paper. But
The bottom line is food in the mouth
exactly,
and a healthy
and
family.
having people to be successful, self-sustaining, and having both mom and dad be able to find their employment and their calling and be able to help themselves and their families.
So how did you end up in Michigan City?
My compass is broken. I originally from the country of Belize, if you don't hear the accent.
I hear it.
And so from deep south to mid-south to north. So I born and raised in the tropical country of Belize, which is below Mexico, for those of you who don't know where it's at. It's English speaking. And I came to college in Arkansas, and then my master's in Mississippi. I spent about 16 years in Florida as my adopted home, and then North Carolina, and now Jeffersonville, Indiana, and then of course now Michigan City. So I'm heading north. So I tell
Heading north. You're
people
going to
my
go
compass is-
further?
I think this is it.
You do.
I've had to learn how to dress and drive and do other things here, and so I'm like, okay, I need to just stay here and maybe eventually head back south, but no more north.
No more north. I like that. That's great. So what's happening in Michigan City that makes you smile these days?
Well, lots of things happening. It's great to be part of a great team. Both my board, my staff, city leadership, the community. The time is right for Michigan City, and I came at the right time. I walked into a lot of plans from 20 years ago. I walked into people who were before me trying to get things done. They laid the groundwork for infrastructure and planning, and so I was able to use that with the economy and the right team of people to actually push that forward. And now those things are coming to fruition, and so I'm the lucky recipient of all that hard work. So I feel very lucky in that regard.
I think that's true. I also think you should take a little credit yourself. I mean, yes, all of the structural things, what we were looking for was put in place. But, it takes somebody across the table to convince somebody to say yes to those plans.
That's part of
And
my
I
job.
think you've
So
done
I
a
try
good
to
job at that.
I try to use my silver tongue to make that happen. But no, I think the city has great assets, which is one of the reasons why I took the job. I was coming to Chicago for a long time, doing business travel to Chicago, meeting with the industrial site selectors, and so I knew about the Midwest, but never been to Michigan City before.
When was the first time?
When I came from my interview.
Really?
Yes, I gave my review, but I mean, before I
When was
got
that?
here, August of 2013. So I came in this summer. Wasn't ready for winter when I they deceived me. But
Didn't tell you about that.
and it was a bad winter too that year. But
We just wanted to toughen you up.
yes.
Toughen you up.
But I mean, one of the reasons before I came, I looked at all the demographics and all of the things the city had to offer, and I was attracted to number one, the water. I've been very fortunate in my career to work. Every city I work for has a waterfront, whether it's a beach, whether it's a river, whether it's a lake, whether it's
The ocean.
water is attractive because water attracts people.
Yes, it
And
does.
so that's one of the reasons that was one of the first things that attracted me here. Of course, the link to Chicago, the interstates, the heavy haul roads, the dunes, the art community. I mean, there's a whole the casinos, outlet mall. I mean, there's a whole lot here that you can enjoy as a resident. And so I knew I had some great pieces to work with. And so, and then of course, coming here, you learn more about the community, what they have to offer, the vision, the companies that are here, those who have come here years ago, those who started companies here, and there's some great stories in this community. And so, part of my job is to weave that into a great story to make somebody want to invest more, whether they want to stay here or come here, but taking all those stories and weave them into a great story that's convincing.
It's really interesting because, now that we're in the middle of political season, there are all these people saying, I'm going to bring jobs to Michigan City. And I keep wanting to say, the jobs are coming. The two-track is here. You did nothing for that.
Well, I've been telling people, I mean, we got jobs here now. We don't have bodies to fill the jobs.
Right.
If you notice, all the restaurants have short staff and short
Oh my
hours.
God, it's terrible.
We're having a job fair next month. Over 60 companies sign up wanting people badly. So if there's ever a time you want to work, we got a job for you. So the issue right there is not a job. We need to attract more people, which is a national issue. We don't have enough people to fill these jobs.
But now you're going to have people have the ability to just
pick the job they want, and if you have you have great skills, you can do very, very well.
Yeah.
And so part of what we're doing now is how do we upskill people to make sure they get the right jobs and be able to feed their families and have disposable income. So this is
you've got a great group here, the A.K. Smith Center. It's going to help a lot with that.
They work with all 5 school districts. So if you want to be in the trades, and technology, healthcare, they've got all those programs. So I'm a great resource for our community. Brings to the high schools, they have made some vast progress in where they used to be the past 10 years. That we have the only air compressor academy in the country. Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yes, we are number one in Indiana for the air compressor industry and number one in the Midwest. And so we want to use that to attract more companies here. But also, our goal is to have you leave high school and be able to make $50,000 a year out of high school.
Thank you.
With no student debt. I think that's
that's good. I like that. That's a pretty picture.
And of course now Ivy Tech, you can go there for 2 years, you can go in for free. So there are things that are happening in this community that's going to make this community the place to be. It is already the place to be. I tell people, we just don't know it yet.
Some of us do. Some of us do. Some of us have known it since 1973.
I believe you, because that's why I came. I saw a lot of great assets here that could just be, it's here. So how do we use that to advance our community? And how do we use that to make sure our people can enhance their quality of life? We've got, beside industry and technology and the financial firms, there's art, there's visual and performing arts here is big in this community. We've got people who are, I call them, retired happily because they come here to retire and they're still involved in the community, which I think is great because you learn their knowledge and you can use that to enhance your generational wealth of knowledge.
So go back with me for a minute. Let's go back to the high school part and the college part. And what is it that, we all are dreamers back then. We think we know, but our lives are never in a straight line. And tell me about your path. How did you choose where to go to school? How did you choose what you were going to study? And then You know, were there people in your life that helped you out?
Yes, along the way, sometimes a little knock in the head because sometimes we were hard-headed. But my dad was one of those people who helped with that, so very much so. But I went to Catholic elementary school. I went to a mission high school, and then from there I went to a Church of Christ for my undergraduate. So I got to the real world in for my master's degree when it was a total different world when I went to public school. But I mean, along the way, I've had teachers who encouraged me along the way. My mom was a big reader, and she used to buy us books all the time to read. So we learned to read, all of us, from a very young age. And so I'm still a very big reader. I read everything that comes across my, and so that helps in, when I'm meeting with clients, telling stories, and I've told my staff, is there anything I can leave with you is to become a lifelong learner, because if you do that, you never
You're
behind the
curious.
curve.
You're curious, and you have no idea what doors that'll open.
Exactly. And I talk to a lot of smart people all the time, so I gotta appear to be smart.
There you go.
Know enough to have a conversation.
Whoops.
I lost my mic there. But no. So I deal with a lot of people. I think are very smart. They're investors. They own big companies, and so you got to be able to hold a conversation with them, in a very high level. And a lot of times we meet in this room and we talk a lot of things that we don't even talk about business. And before they leave, we'll do something with you and here's what we're going to do. But a lot of times the first 45 minutes is not about their business, about their life, what they're doing, and different things happening along the way. Because you try to build a connection and a long-term relationship. That's what the key is. It's building a long-term connection. And,
so if you had a piece of advice for somebody who was in high school or somebody even who was approaching retirement or lost their job and was trying to decide how to cope with that, what to do, do you have any words of wisdom for them?
A couple things. Those of you who are young, apply yourself, be ready. Opportunity is always knocking at your door.
Right,
But if you're not ready, it'll pass you by. If you're semi-retired or looking to retire and looking for hope, stay curious. Until you close your eyes, you're still contributing to society, and you need to be curious and be involved.
There you go.
So.
Words of wisdom. Thank you so much. So thank you for listening and watching Creating from the Heart, the Artistry of Living. Suzy Vance with Clarence Hulse.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clarence.
I appreciate it.